Hey guys, it's CJ Investing here. Welcome back to my channel. And in this week's video, I'm gonna be talking about the best stocks to buy right now. I'm recording this in the month of August, towards the middle of August 2024. Why you need one of my 3 stocks that I own in my Roth IRA portfolio and your portfolio at the right price, of course, as well as why concentrating your capital into just a few stocks is usually better than spreading it out into many stocks, especially if you're at a point in your life where you're earning lower income or you have lower money to work with. So before I get into it, I need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And maybe comment your thoughts on it. Comment your favorite stock down in the comment section and what you're buying and what price you're buying it at. I'd be happy to conversate with y'all about whatever. I haven't been buying Starbucks, guys. Y'all might be mad at me. I actually sold Starbucks. So whenever the CEO of Starbucks left, or I guess he hasn't left yet, whenever they did the announcement of the new CEO, they was bringing the, I guess, the Chipotle CEO, and they was gonna be paying him good and stuff. But that whole hype, because I realized there was a lot of hype around the stock, around Starbucks, and I seen it up like, I think close to 20% in after hours. This is before the market even opened. And I thought in my mind, my cost average is pretty good. It was at like $83 a share. And I felt pretty good about it. And when the market opened, the stock jumped to it was up like 22%. It went up into the low 90s, maybe like $92, $93 per share. So I made a decent gain on it. And that was my largest position at the time, even larger than Visa and T. Rowe Price, if I own those as well. So I sold out of the company. I put that money into another stock that I have a very high conviction with, a very, very small market cap stock. Y'all probably don't know this one, but if you do, let me know in the comments below what you're doing with it, if you have it in your watch list. So I bought Payc, ticker symbol PAYC. It's called Paycom. It's in the payroll services. And basically in a nutshell, it's similar to Paychex, if you know that, ticker symbol PAYX. They're similar, and it's helping businesses just be better, like get their payroll done faster instead of days. The CEO stated, I was just listening to the earnings call before I got on here, and instead of days, they shortened the time down into hours. That was helping certain companies cut their payroll teams in half. They're just ultimately making it a better experience, more cost effective. They have their app, and they have features on the app called Gone and Betty, and they kind of complement each other. So they have Gone and Betty, and they're making it easier, as far as hiring, finding talent, doing background checks, allowing for the employees to clock in faster, allowing for the managers to see when an employee clock in, to approve time off, and to look at their paychecks before they get them. And they're partnering with Visa with their Visa Vault card, allowing their employees to access their pay faster, little benefits like that. So it's an overall great company. As far as the financial metrics, it's only an 8 or 9 billion company as of this recording, and it has virtually no debt on its balance sheet. Now, it's not many companies in the stock market that can say that. The only companies that come to mind, which I own one of them, which is T. Rowe Price, Google, and it used to be Skyworks Solutions. I don't know if that one still qualifies. I haven't looked at that stock in a very long time. So those are the companies that really come to mind with the great balance sheets with virtually no debt on them. So it has virtually no debt and more assets and liabilities, of course, growing free cash flow. And since it's a very small company, the thing with small companies is it's easy for them to grow their revenue. It's easy for them to increase their stock value. The management team does a very good job of reinvesting the capital, buying when the stock is on sale, which a lot of managers don't get. They buy when it's expensive, and it's actually hurting the company more than it's really helping. So they buy when it's cheap. I think they just recently bought some shares in the last earnings calls, and they bought a decent amount compared to what they usually buy. So that was pretty nice. The stock right now is at around $155 per share. Actually $160 per share. So my average is around 155, and I got 10.9 shares. I have 11 shares. This upcoming week, I'm gonna buy some more. Just $20 increments, nothing too crazy. It doesn't have to be a lot. You know, you just put in what you have, and it goes into my Roth IRA. I really don't think about it. I have the automated deposits that come in, so I'm not constantly having to add to it. So on a weekly basis, you know, and it adds up and it builds up over time. And so Paycom, that's a stock that y'all need to check out, or at the very least add to the watch list, because I believe it's at a great value right now. And you're gonna regret not looking at it, or at least checking it out or giving it a chance. A dude in this Discord chat named Dividend Dude, he has a YouTube channel as well. Check him out. But he talks about it. You know, I learned about a lot of stocks that I don't know about, either on YouTube or through Discord, like different Discord servers, just talking to people. And it's interesting, you know, because you never think to look in certain areas. You know, I always like tech companies. I always like AI companies. I always like information technology companies. You know, but this for me would be my riskiest play, or riskiest stock investment. But I'm pretty confident in it. You know, I think it's a tremendous amount of upside with it. And I think it's pretty dope. So my other stocks that I mentioned earlier are T. Rowe Price and Visa. Visa in general is just one of my favorite companies in the entire stock market. Like, if you don't own Visa or MasterCard, what are you doing in your portfolio? It makes a wonderful addition to just about any portfolio, whether you're a value investor, a dividend investor, growth investor. Because as you know, Visa and MasterCard, they're growing their revenue at a good rate. You know, you wouldn't think a $500 billion companies could be growing at these rates. I mean, just like Microsoft is like, what, 2 trillion? I haven't checked the actual market cap, but it's pretty crazy that these companies can grow their revenue at double-digit rates, which meaning, you know, it's still in a growth phase. They're more mature companies, but they're growing at the same time, and you're getting a dividend as a bonus. So that's always a great thing. And with Paycom or Payc, you're also getting a dividend with that. So that's a bonus to buying a very small dividend, but at least you're getting something. And what I like to emphasize, I want to at least be getting something to own these companies' stock. Even if it's not much, you know, Visa doesn't pay the highest dividend, and it's not known for that, being a dividend company. It just pays that as an extra, you know, reward its shareholders. It does big share buybacks. I'm not always a fan of it buying at the stock price that it buys at, but it does do big buybacks, so it does return value to its shareholders in a variety of different ways. So that's pretty awesome. It's just an awesome company. Very high margins with these businesses that I'm mentioning, especially Visa. You know, credit card companies like Visa and MasterCard, some of the highest margins in the entire stock market. I think, what, 40-50% margins, profit margins? Insane. Like, unbelievable. Like, you can almost not find that anywhere else, unless you go to like a tech company like a Microsoft or a Meta or a Google, which is one company that I want to own, by the way. Google is at a great value right now. Y'all need to check that one out. I know y'all probably already have it on your watch list. I have it very high up on mine. So check out Google. It's always been one of the cheapest of the FANG stocks, of the $1 trillion companies. But now you get that cheapness with a dividend as a bonus, as well as Meta. But Meta has came up a little bit in price, so I'm not as closely watching that one as much as I was maybe like a month ago when it dipped down. You know, it's like, as of this recording, it's like $5.20, $5.30 a share, a little bit too high. I prefer Meta in the 4 range, maybe like 480-ish, 470-ish, I would think about starting a position in it. That's just my range that I would like. And I try to get these stocks in a range that they normally don't trade at. And their P, I look at their historical P, price to earnings ratio, price to sales ratio, what do they normally trade at? And I try to get below that, the normal average. And that's kind of how I determine whether it's cheap or expensive. You know, price to free cash flow, I look at that as well. And I look at those things and I compare it to the past 5 years or so and where it's traded at to see if it's cheaper than where it normally trades at. So I look at that. So with Visa's at, I think it's came up quite a bit to like $267 a share, or close to $270. I don't really like to buy Visa around $270. I have before, but I prefer Visa either in the $260 range, not the $260 range, but the $250 range or below. Because my cost base, you gotta understand, is like $227. And with that, I had to average up, because I've been holding Visa for almost 2 years now. Almost 2 years. It's my longest held investment. And that doesn't seem like long for an investor, probably compared to y'all. But I started investing in 2020. And when I first started, I was doing a lot of trading. I was looking for these penny stocks. Back during that time, I was like trading vaccine stocks like the Invax and INO, Novio. I was trading those stocks and I made a little bit of a profit, but I took my profit and ran. And then I got into dividend stocks. You know, I was into the monthly dividend stocks like the Realty Income, Main Street Capital. And I found out that monthly stocks weren't where it's at. You know, I prefer more growth. I'm more growth oriented now. Growth with a dividend, even if it's small dividend. And I'm still growing as an investor, so I may prefer stocks without a dividend in the near future. Who knows? But right now, this is just my investing philosophy. So with Visa, you know, I prefer a 250 range. Great company, high margins, high free cash flow, more free cash flow than just about any stock until you get to the $1 trillion companies. Just about any other stock that isn't a Microsoft, Apple, a Google, one of them stocks. Visa and MasterCard have some of the highest free cash flow. But free cash flow is used to pay dividends, do share buybacks, pay off debt, and you know, other capital expenditures. So free cash flow is very important and very hard to manipulate. Yeah, Visa is a must own. So moving on to T. Rowe Price, it's probably my 3rd largest position. Just a great company. You know, I think, what is it, $1.5, $1.6 trillion on the management, assets under management. So, you know, that fluctuates depending on the market. This is a company that's very tied to the market, so it's gonna fluctuate a lot in price. But, and it came down recently, and then it went back up. You know, it went down to like $102, $103 a share. And I bought, with my proceeds from StarBucks, I used that to buy 2 shares of T. Rowe Price. And I hadn't bought that in several months. So that was pretty exciting, you know, increase that dividend, those dividends. So I'm pretty excited about my next dividend, which is gonna be coming sometime in September. It's gonna be paying, I think. So I'm excited about that. And I'm gonna get my last StarBucks dividend on August 30th. So that should be pretty big. And what else? T. Rowe Price, Visa dividend coming in September as well. So quite a few companies pay out in September that are coming up. So, you know, watch for those dividends. Shout out to all of y'all. T. Rowe Price, y'all Visa, MasterCard, Payc, Paychex, American Express. Shout out to all of y'all shareholders getting those dividends. I only concentrate my capital into a few positions. I only have 3 positions in my Roth IRA. You know, I'm paying off debt, so my money is going to other things. Bought a house a couple of years ago, and you know, bills and stuff. So my money goes to different things. I'm not staying with my parents anymore, and I'm not able to save as much. But I'm trying to get these credit cards paid off. That's why I pay a very low amount to my Roth at the moment, but I will increase that once I pay off my debts. So that's very important, paying off your debts. You know, concentrating your capital, you know, you could get more into the stocks that you love, more into your core positions, more into the companies that you have the highest conviction with. I won't want to spread my money out into 100 different companies at this moment. Now that may change in the future, but at this moment, I won't want to do that because I feel like I'm spreading it too thin, as well as I don't want just one share of 100 different companies, because I'm not really benefiting, I'm not really gaining anything when they go up, and I'm not really invested in it if I only have a few shares in a company, or if I have like 2 shares. So it's not really worth it to me. I wouldn't be satisfied at all with any of those positions, and I probably wouldn't keep up with them. When I have more invested, when I'm able to get more invested in the stock, I care more about it, and I don't have to listen to as many earnings calls or keep up with all of these different companies. I know a lot of people own mature dividend paying companies, but I like to kind of do a little bit of research with them and at least listen to the earnings calls, you know, keep up with those, you know, while I'm working or I'm doing stuff around the house. So, you know, I prefer, you know, I got, as I said before, Visa, T. Rowe Price, and now Payc, which is my newest position. I think different strategies work for different people. Some people like to own 30 different companies that pay dividends. They have more capital to work with. That's dope. You know, I'm gonna get to that point one day where I can buy 30 different companies and feel satisfied with my positions. But right now, I'm not. So I'm sticking with my 3 until my investment philosophy change. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for watching up to this point. I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a great day or night, and good luck with all of your investing. I wish y'all many gains, and I'll see y'all the next time. Peace.